Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Learning with Shetemi, and today we are going to be talking about the Congo Crisis. And as at the time of recording, these are some of the things that have happened. But before then, we need to explain to ourselves on what exactly happened or is happening in Congo, right? I want us to study this map. This is DR Congo. It is the second largest country by landmass in Africa, and look at by the side is Rwanda. This is capital of Rwanda, Kingagi, and this is the border between Rwanda and DR Congo. It's going to be important later, right? What exactly is really happening in Congo? Let's go back to history, right? In the early of 2024, there was an uprising. It's not like things were not happening in Congo, regardless, but there was just so much rising and all, and we needed to understand why this was happening. As a fellow African, I feel like it is just necessary for me to talk about this. Um, Congo is the second largest, like I said earlier, by landmass, and it has, according to research, Congo is the richest country in the world in terms of mineral resources, and they have over $51 billion worth of resources, and they have over 20 trillion worth of uncovered resources. The resources that they have recovered are about 51 billion naira, and the one that they have not even recovered is estimated to worth about 20 trillion naira. A country that is that rich and yet so poor. And this is one of the things, is that Congo, being Congo, because of its resources, it has helped us in advancement of technologies, lithium batteries, electricity, whatever we might think of, whatever electricity or technology advancement we might think of, somehow or some way the resources is gotten from Congo, and yet Congo is still very poor. Before we continue with Congo, let's just take a few steps back and let's talk about Rwanda. That's at 2. At 1 is Congo itself, at 2 is Rwanda, and why Rwanda is a major player in this particular place. Now, in 1994, there was a genocide that happened in Rwanda between the two ethnic groups, the Hutu extremists and the Tutsis. So for the sake of pronunciation, I'll be calling them the H people and the T people. The Hutus, which are the H people, they were extremists. They killed a minority ethnic group, the T people. They killed about 1 million minorities in 1994, which is the largest genocide killing in Africa at that time. Note, the Tutsis people, the T people, they are like the most they were like the political power in Congo. They have all resources. During the colonial era, Belgium and every other country that colonized them give them resources, and it helped them in building into a stronger force, and they were the ones that hold the power of the state. So the Tutsis people that contain about just 40% or 30% of Congo's population were the minority that had the power, while the Hutus that contain about 85% of the population didn't have as much power as the Tutsis. So in 1994, they killed the Hutu extremists, H people, killed about 1 million of the Tutsis. And this, because of this killing, this is the Rwanda in 1992, the 1962, they go independent, and Hutus are this thing. Then the war killing between those guys. Somehow in 1994, according to this that I've written, then the war started between the two sides and accumulated to extend about 1 million minority killing of the Tutsis. Somehow in 1994, the Tutsis also regained power. Between in their independence time and 1994, the H people have gained power because they were the majority people of the country. Have gained power back from the Tutsis, and were oppressing the Tutsis. They have gained power from the Tutsis and were oppressing the Tutsis. One way or the other, the Tutsis in 1994 gained power back from the Hutus, and because of this regain of power, many of the Hutus crossed over to the border to Congo. Now, as I said earlier, if you look at the border here, many people that were here, that were in the Hutus, because they have regained power, they crossed over to both the North Kivu and the Southern Kivu, right? And during the killing in 1994, the Tutsis people as well also crossed over to Congo, right? So we had both the Tutsis and the Hutus people staying in Congo. in Goma, in North Kivu, South Kivu. They were staying there because of the killings that were happening in Rwanda. Now, because of that, so many battles in 1994, because the Tutsis were not in power, they were sending military forces to Congo to make sure their Tutsi people that were dwelling there would not be killed or would not be harassed or would not be discriminated by the Hutu people, right? And that was as what has been happening. That's majorly the what that has been happening. Powers from Rwanda coming to Congo to make sure that their people are not discriminated and all and all and all and all and all, right? Then that is how it has been. According to reports, not only did the Rwanda military. Okay, so now before we come here, during and after the genocide, 2 million Hutu refugees crossed over to Congolese border and they were staying in this place in eastern Congo. According to reports, not only did the Rwanda militant forces come for the Hutu extremists, they also influenced the government of Congo. So now, because the militants from Rwanda were coming into Congo, not only were they now there to protect the Congolese people, to the Rwandan Tutsis people, they were there also to, according to reports, they were there also to make sure that they had influence in power in Congo, and they were able to overthrow the former dictators, and Lawrence Kabila, backed by the Rwanda, overthrew the dictator Mutumbo Sese Seko and renamed the country from the Zaire state of the from Zaire state. That's why you hear sometimes people call Congo the Zaire state. They renamed it to the Democratic Republic of Congo. After then the second Congo War started, and the power between the Rwanda and Congo gone so, and which led to a lot of fight. In 2003, the UN intervened and they ended it. Now, before we move on, let's talk about the M23 movement. You will be hearing M23 a lot on the news, and you wonder what's about the movement. The M23 movement is an force that control a rich area in eastern DRC of Congo. This group name came out of a peace treaty deal that was signed in March 23, 2009, when the Congolese government signed a peace treaty with the then rebel group called the National Congo for the Defense of the People. So the National Congo for the Defense of the People signed a peace treaty with the Congo government that they were going to, put their members into political power and also reinforce their members back into the state. But later on in 2013, they said the Congolese government didn't actually come alive with this thing, which led to the M23 rebel group being born, which is March 23, 2009. And sometime in 2013, the M23 group tried to capture Goma, which is the major city that has the mineral resources. But unfortunately for them, due to pressure, they were killed in 2013. And later in 2021, they resurfaced and they have about 8,000 fighters. Now, why is this making headline? In 2024-25, the group M23, they gained power. I think they gained power early January or late January, which is the richest area in the eastern DRC of Congo. And because this area is where many of our resources and our major raw materials for technological breakthrough is from, the Western world found that they could not exploit this area again, and it made the news. It began to make headlines because the Congolese government could not supply them again, and the Rwandan government, the M23 rebels, have now taken over the area, and now the Western world is they are on their feet because many of them can make money off the Republic of Congo.